Let's continue our conversation with outspoken conservative Richard Viguerie, the chairman of conservativehq.com, who joins us from a very cold Northern Virginia. And it's tough enough, the relationship between conservative and establishment Republicans, but the president, on one issue that seems to unite Republicans and a lot of Democrats, the Keystone XL pipeline. Do you believe that Mitch McConnell and John Boehner and others can put together a veto override if it should come down to that?
It's entirely possible. I think it's easier in the House and the Senate, JD, but the main thing is lay down a marker. Start passing legislation in the House and the Senate and cause the president to veto it. And we need to brand him as an obstructionist, as the reason why we have a weak economy, why the middle class is hurting so much. So, if the president signs the legislation, the House and Senate passes, that's good. But the main thing maybe is just to lay down a marker for the future and brand him as to what he is, a big government Republican. And as long as you and I can remember, JD, the Democrats have been known as the government party. Well, that's worked fine for them when government was perceived to have done so much as American people like, won World War II, won the Cold War, educated the GIs when they came back, gave us Social Security, Medicare, etc. But now that the government seems to be doing nothing right, the Veterans Administration, Obamacare, the economy, national security, now to brand the Democrats as the government party will work strongly to the benefit of the Republicans and the conservatives. So it's important to pass legislation, and if we can override it, his veto, fine, but the main thing is pass the legislation.
And in passing that legislation, the old bromide is nothing succeeds like success. When the arguments become issue-oriented, will that add to Republican unity and save some of the disputes for the upcoming presidential candidates to thrash out with the grassroots and other Republicans?
Absolutely. If the House and the Senate is seen by the American people as trying to rein in the excesses of President Obama and his administration, that will help unite the party. Because, our number one goal as conservatives, constitutionalists, Tea Party types is not to win elections. That's important, but that's not the number one goal. Our number one goal is to save America. We want to change the direction this country is going and go back to the vision of our founders, limited constitutional government. So if the Republicans are moving in that direction, that's going to help bring us together as a united force going into the 2016 election.
Before we go, 15 seconds. You still worried about amnesty? Would that just continue to split the party if the establishment insists on it?
Absolutely. I think because the grassroots, not only the conservatives, the Republicans, but most Americans are strongly opposed to amnesty. So I think that's going to cause the Republican leaders to go slow, why otherwise they may want to put this behind us and pass some form of amnesty or let the president have his way and move on. But I think the grassroots and Americans are so strongly opposed to this, it's going to cause the Republican leaders to have more backbone than
Fair enough. Richard Viguerie, we thank you. His book is Takeover, the 100-Year War for the Soul of the GOP. And we're coming right back.